So my name is Lindsay. I just graduated physical therapy school, and so now I have a doctorate in physical therapy, and now I'm just kind of unemployed and waiting I have to take boards to become licensed, and so I will take that at the end of October. But for now I'm just studying for that. I was actually born in California, Northern California, but then when I was like 5 we moved to Nebraska, and that's where I'm from, good old Lincoln, Nebraska. I have 2 brothers, one on either side of me, and then went to the academy growing up there, and then Union College. Ooh, that's a tough one. Let's see. Well, I have all my memories in Nebraska, like from growing up, so that's kind of hard to beat. But if I was just looking at the land, California is better. Like with the weather, of course, is way better. But and there's like beaches and mountains. But Nebraska is like home. It's like all the memories. Yeah, and the people there are so friendly, and I love it there. Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's kind of weird for me to say like when did I meet Jesus, because I grew up I guess I've always known who Jesus was. Like my parents are both Christian, and we grew up having family worship, going to Sabbath school, church. Like I feel like Jesus has always been a part of me, and I haven't really known anything different than that. I was baptized when I was in 6th grade, and that's like when I really felt like, yes, like this is like, I've always known Jesus, I love him, but this is like, I want to make it a more of a personal relationship. I guess I've always been involved in the church, involved in like Sabbath school and all of that, and so I wasn't ever really like interested in in like going away from that, and so I guess I just continued doing it. Continued to be involved in like church ministries and volunteering and all of that fun stuff. I think the time my spirituality was mostly challenged was when I came out here to California, especially my 2nd year out here of physical therapy school. It was, so I had come back from Bolivia, and then came straight to California, and it was like a whole new world out here. I went from like Bolivia, where it's like, everything's about Jesus there. You have no distractions, like you can, like you're just there in your little pod, and you just love Jesus there, because you just need him for everything, because everything's so hard out there. But then I come to California, and it's like, whoa, everything's at the tip of my fingers. Like and there's so many distractions, so much technology and all that. And my 2nd year, so 1st year was still kind of like fresh from Bolivia, I was really trying to be involved, and then 2nd year I started to become closer with some friends who weren't really how do I say this? We didn't have exactly the same morals and values, and so I started to go into church less, and instead of going to church, I'd go to like the beach or the mountains or hiking. So like not bad things, but I just like stopped. Like church wasn't a priority anymore, and I was just hanging out with these friends who we didn't really talk about God that much. Like it wasn't at the center at all, and so that's when I was kind of in a situation where I was like, I don't know, like I know that God's there, and I know I love him, but like I don't really feel him in my life, and these people are more fun than the people I've met at church, so kind of like it was really hard. I think it's all, for me, it's like always a little bit of a battle. Like I always, the verse says like you don't want to be lukewarm, because that's like the worst thing you can be, and I think for me that's definitely something I'm like what am I doing? I'm just like I'm just going through the motions, and but what really shook me up, I guess, was so in PT school we can go anywhere in the US for PT rotation. So for my first one, it was a month long, and I went to Puerto Rico, and there like rocked my world. It was I went with no car, no housing, because that fell through like right before I went, and so I didn't even know I was going to stay except the first couple of days I got an Airbnb. But after that I was like, where am I going to stay? And I had no friends there, and then I was like, all right, God, like I'm going to go to church, because I got there on a Friday night. So I texted, someone gave me someone's number, so I texted them, I was like, hey, can I go to church with you? And I was like, all right, God, I need to find somewhere to stay for a month at church, so can you do that for me? And at church the next day I met this family of 7 from Idaho who were living with a lady, and they're like, hey, they asked me like what my story was and where I was staying, and I was like, oh, actually I'm looking for a place, and they're like, oh, well, we're leaving on Tuesday, you can stay where we're staying, like wow. Just like that. And I was like, wow, praise God. Like he just provided that. And then my first week that I was there, my coworkers were like lived, they had to drive past where I was staying to go to work, so they picked me up. And then the next week someone rent me their car during the week, so I had so I could not have to rely on them so much, because I felt bad about that. So they rented me a car, and then I just made friends. I had another person's number too that someone from Loma Linda gave me, because they had gone to school there, and like he took me around the whole island, and then just like introduced me to all these people, and it was just such a different lifestyle there. Everyone was involved in church. We had Wednesday night prayer meetings, we had Friday night vespers, Sabbath, church, and Sabbath school, and it was just like so refreshing to me, because in California, like I hadn't had really good friends who were involved in that kind of stuff, like I said, and I was kind of falling away. But here I was like, wow, like I love these people and they love Jesus. This is so great. And I just felt so close to God. He took care of all of my needs and more there, and that was like, you know what, like God is there, and he's never left me. I just need to like come back to him. So yeah, Jesus means a future, hope, peace, everything that like I could be worried about. I know that Jesus has it all under control, and I know that he loves me and he loves everyone just so much. And yeah, so it just like, to me it's like, if something's going on in this world, like right now, what is going on in this world, you know, craziness, like I know that Jesus is there, and he's gonna like, he knows all of what's going on. None of this is a surprise to him, and that's just really reassuring, because even if I feel like everything's out of control, I know that he has it under control, and he's never gonna leave me, never gonna forsake me. And yeah, I most value Jesus for his consistency. Never have to guess what he's thinking, or how he's gonna react, or does he love me, does he not love me, like, you know, he's so consistent. He knows he loves me. Well, especially right now, during all this COVID stuff, my rotations were canceled, graduation is canceled, everything's canceled, and so and like there's just other things, like I don't know when I'm gonna get a job, I don't know when I'm gonna take boards. I know now when I'm going to, but back before I didn't. So this verse, let's see, Psalms 18:30, really, I have it on my phone now, because it's just like, every time I read it, it's just, it says, as for God, his way is perfect. The Lord's word is flawless. He shields all who take refuge in him. And so I just know that, you know, like even though I don't know what's going on, like God's way is perfect, and we just have to trust him. And keep reading the Bible, keep trying to know him. Shout out to my mom, shout out to my dad. For real, those people are my biggest role models. My mom she is one of the most caring people I've known in my whole life. Like, she's always reaching out. She's a teacher too, and I see how much she cares for her students, and she's and like family. She's always making, like, visiting family members and checking up on people, and I just, like, I see how hard she works, and yeah, she's just I want to be like my mom. And then my dad too, he's a physical therapist, so I've seen how he works with his patients, and I'm a physical therapist now. Sorry, Mom, couldn't become a nurse. But yeah, I see how my dad, like, treats his patients, and one thing my dad said that really, like, impacted me is, like, you know, when you get a patient and they're like famous or whatever, like, you know, like, oh, be extra careful because this is the president's son or whatever. So he was like, I hate it when they tell us that we have a VIP patient. Like, everyone who walks through these doors is a VIP patient. And that, like, really stuck with me. I was like, oh, that's so true. Like, who cares where the person comes from? Right now they're coming in to get help, and we should treat them all like that, like to the best of our ability. We shouldn't treat them any less than if they weren't the most valuable person right now. So, well, I'm a people person, and so my best advice would be surround yourself with people who love God. And if you feel like you're not connecting with people who love God, like I felt like that as well, pray that God will bring people into your life that do love God and that you will connect with too, because you're not going to connect with everyone, but that doesn't mean there aren't people out there that you will. So yeah.